Hey, Chef Jesse here. Anyway, like I said, today I have a guest coming over to my place, so I'm gonna give him some good food. I'm making dessert. I'm making what is called flan. It's like an egg. It's I think the interpretation is like an egg custard. It looks like a creme brulee. It has sugar in it, and it has eggs, and it's got condensed milk and evaporated milk. You know, all that good stuff. Anyway, folks, I'm gonna show you first of all. Let me show you, mind you, hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna use one of these dishes, right? I'm gonna start, the bottom of the flan has to have sugar in it, and melted sugar. So when you cook the flan, I'll show you, and you invert it, all the sugar's on top and it flows off the side. Very nice. Anyway, folks, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to, let me get this out of the way. I'm going to melt some sugar. And melting sugar is a little bit tricky if you don't know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour, if I can find my sugar, somebody stole my sugar. Oh, here we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. A little bit of mess. I don't know if you can see here. No, you can't. But I'm going to use some sugar, and I'm going to put sugar in the pan, like so. Maybe less than a cup. More than a cup. Okay. I'm going to set my flame on low, and I have to keep an eye on this because the trick to this is that if you burn the sugar, it's going to taste bitter, and when you serve the flan with the sugar, it's going to taste bitter. So you have to make sure that you don't burn it. You get the right consistency. Now, I put this on top of the stove, and I'm going to use a metal thing, and I'm going to start stirring. Okay, this is like, I don't know, you ever made rock candy? In school, when I was like way back in PS33, we made rock candy, and it was made this way. So what I do, I warm it. I'm warming it up, and I'm going to start to stir it because you don't want it to stick. Okay. Now it's going to stick to your pan, and it's going to stick to the spoon. You can lick the spoon if you want. I'm diabetic. I'm not going to lick the spoon, but you put it in hot water for a while, and it'll wash away. You know, it's kind of messy. You know, sometimes to wash. So anyway, I'm going to. This is still cool. Okay, and let's see. As soon as I start seeing the sugar melting down, I'm going to start to stir it. And the trick is you keep stirring it and stirring and stirring. And you can add more sugar as you see, but like I said, and this is only according to the sugar that you like, according to how much sugar you like. You know, I like to make it with enough sugar so that when I serve a slice of the flan, I can put some syrup on it. So this is starting to melt. I'll show you in a few minutes how, when it starts to melt, I'm going to keep stirring it because I don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan, and I'm trying to avoid it sticking on the spoon. It's going to stick on the spoon. It's going to stick. Look, it's starting to stick now. It's going to stick on the spoon, but then when you wash it, make sure that it melts away. So it's starting to melt now. The sugar's starting to melt. Folks, this is a recipe that I got. I mean, there's a lot of ways to make flan. If you go on Google, on YouTube, you'll find ways. But I follow one guy who's a chef, who's a nice guy. His name is Che. If you look it up, Che TV. Chad TV. Look him up, and he's got a lot of Latin dishes, and he's kind of creative. It's kind of funny. He's a comedian like me, but at the same time he cooks. So my sugar's starting to get lumpy now, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. So I'm going to show you in a few minutes. I'm going to show you in a few minutes how it looks. Now, as you can see, it's starting to melt. And what you want to do, you want to make sure that this melts completely. No lumps, because then you're gonna bite into a big lump of sugar so you gotta make sure that this melts completely. Also, be very careful, because this will stick to you. This is like working with wax. This will stick to you. Don't put your tongue on it. Don't put your finger. You know, make sure the kids are not around, because this lands on you, you will be in the hospital. This sugar mix is very, very, see, now it's starting to melt, and I'm squeezing it down. I got to get this completely melted down, okay? Completely, and this whole pan is moving. So, and you got to make sure that you don't burn it at the same time. So you might want to lower the flame down, like I'm gonna do. Lower the flame down, okay? And then you keep stirring. You got to get those lumps out of there. So with the spoon, mush it down and keep stirring. The important thing is to keep stirring and not burn the sugar. Because again, if you do, you're gonna get a bitter taste when you serve your dessert. So there it goes. You see it's starting to liquefy more and more. And I'm squeezing. This is burning my fingers too. I should use the biggest spoon. But this is basically what you're looking for. There it goes. Look, it's all liquefied now. You see it? Look. And this will get hard real quick. So folks, when you pour it into the pan, it gets hot real quick. You gotta be careful with this. Make sure this thing don't land on your fingers, and you don't try to taste this. The spoon will stick to you, and you'll be taken to the hospital with the spoon in your mouth. Okay, folks. So I just poured my sugar into the pan. This is a 9-inch aluminum pan with a cover. So because I'm gonna put this in the fridge, and just spread the sugar out. Like I said, I like it with enough sugar that I could, but you could adjust. I like it with enough sugar so that I can pour some of it when I serve it. So this is the aluminum pan, 9-inch aluminum pan. You can find it in the 99-cent store anywhere around. And I got my sugar stuck on the spoon. Look at it. So you put it in hot water for a little while, and that will work. Okay, so now you got this pan here, and you're gonna put it to the side. So folks, now it's time to mix to make the flan. So I'm going to put 1 can, 12 ounces of evaporated milk. Actually, let me put this to the side. Evaporated milk to the side. I'm going to use condensed milk. Okay, you can buy any brand you want, but it has to be condensed, not evaporated, condensed. So you're gonna use 1 can of evaporated and 1 can of condensed. This is very thick. This is very sweet. So I don't add sugar to the flan because this is sweet. Now, like I said, this is a recipe that I learned from a guy that I know, and you can do whatever you want. I'm just, I don't make money out of this. I am just showing you how I make it, okay? So I'm putting in the leche, what is it? Condensed leche, milk, This is very heavy, so I try to get most of it out. Okay, so 1 can. Of course, if you're gonna make a couple flan, you can make, but this will make you 1 nice size 9-inch flan inside the pan. Now, this is getting all this. Oh, okay. So there you go. So, my next thing is my evaporated milk. Pour it in there. Now you can make flan with also cheese flan, which will, when you make this mix, you add a whole lump of cream cheese and you beat it up in there, and it will be a cheese flan. I've never tried it. I'm going to try it one day, but for now I'm making a regular flan with vanilla flan. Now I add 3 eggs, 3 medium eggs, large, whatever, I don't know. I never see the size of eggs. It's the same thing. I opened them up, put them in there. I didn't beat them. I'm going to let the blender beat them. Okay, there you go. There goes your eggs. And then your vanilla. I have vanilla extract, and I use, I don't know, I things by, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to put about 3, well, this is a teaspoon, okay. So So I'm gonna put about 3, 4. Just don't overdo it. And now I'm going to put this, I'm going to run this through my blender. And let's go to the blender. Okay, we're at the blender. And now we're going to just start blending. I'm going to start off maybe like medium. I'm gonna check to make sure that it looks even. If you have spots in there that hasn't been blended, then it's no good. So I'm gonna blend it in slow for a couple of seconds. It looks pretty good. And that should be good. Now, the part to put it into the pan. Now my sugar got a little bit, it got a little bit hard, but it's going to soften up because this is going into the oven. Okay. So I'm going to pour this into the oven. Get my blade out of there. I'm going to pour this into the pan, the 9-inch aluminum pan. Okay, there you go. It should be perfect. Perfect in there. Okay. Now, I don't know what people can add stuff, people take away. I don't know, but this is, I tried this flan for the first time from a recipe that I got from this guy that I know. It was terrific, and I've done it ever since. People have tried it, they love it. Now, the trick to this is going to be cooked in the oven, but it's not going to be baked. It's going to be put into a tub of water, and it's going to cook with the heat for 1 hour at 350, okay? So I got my oven already at 350. And this is kind of tricky because I don't want to spill this, so let's see how this looks. So let me show you. Okay, let me show you. So I got a pan there. See this pan? Okay, now I got the pan in the oven. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the flan, I'm going to put it into this here with water. Now this has water, and it should come up to maybe halfway from this pan. Not, make sure it doesn't cover it, but it doesn't go to the tip, but halfway. And it's going to cook in that water for 1 hour at 350. You can check it after 1 hour. Maybe it might might take another 5 or 10 minutes. But I put it in there for an hour and check it. And what I do, I use a toothpick, and I put a toothpick in the middle, just like when you're baking. It comes out. If it looks like it's cooked, it's mostly cooked. Now the trick to this is you have to let it cool outside. You take it out the oven, put it outside, cool it. I cool it for about 45 minutes, and then I put it into my fridge for a couple of hours. The longer the better, because when you cut it, it might fall apart. So sometimes I put it in the fridge for 3 to 4 hours, and it gets nice. The texture gets nice and hard, and then you're ready for dessert. So this dessert is supposed to be ready for today hopefully by 6, 7 o'clock. So it should be good. So I'm gonna put this in the oven now. Okay, hold on. Okay, so there you go. It's in the pan. The water is about, let's say the water's about halfway. I might add a little bit of more water. What I do is you don't want to go to the edge. You don't want to go to the edge. You want to go, and let's see, pour this water in here. And I think that should be good. Yeah, that should be good. And put a little drop of water. Okay, there you go. Okay. You don't want to go to the tip. You don't really want to go to the tip. Okay, so now, of course, very carefully push this into the oven. Let me see if I can push it without dripping all over the place. And okay, it's kind of tricky. It's kind of very slowly into the oven. Goodbye. There you go. See you later in an hour. And there you go, folks. Oh, something dripped. Okay. 350. 350. 1 hour. I set my timer. You know, I cook with a timer. I have a timer here. My little timer right. Okay, there you go. And I set it for 1 hour, and then there you go. I got another timer going because I got the ribs. So and then, folks, in 1 hour, maybe an hour and 5 minutes, an hour and 10, I'm going to take this flan out. I'm going to let it cool outside for about 45 minutes, and then I'm going to put it into the fridge and let it cool there for 3 to 4 hours, and then we'll have dessert. So this is the way to make an easy flan, folks. This is very easy. Like I said, this is an easy recipe that I learned, and I used it, and it came out delicious. I amazed myself. So, I mean, there's other ways to do it, and probably people can tell me, that's not the way to do it. I don't care. I'm telling you this. I'm not getting paid for this. So, folks, this is the way that I make flan. And it tastes, believe me, if you don't believe me, come over to my house at 15 St. James, and that's where I live, and taste the flan. And you can, if you come today, you can have barbecue ribs, because I'm starting to prepare those. So anyway, folks, that's my Chef Jesse's easy flan. I hope you've enjoyed it. Ask me questions offline if you need to refresher to see how it's done. And that's it. Love you guys. I'll see you guys soon when I come back, when I make the main course.